السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وعزيزنا وكريمنا ورحيمنا ونبينا وسندنا ومولانا محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وأزواجه وأنصاره وعلينا معهم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى عز وجل في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: اتقوا الله حيثما كنت. Respected elders, beloved brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعاني فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my servant asks me, وإذا سألك عبادي, when my servant asks, where am I? Let them know, إني قريب, I was always there. Where were you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the communication between the creator and the creation. There's a ta'alluq that we have. The entire Islam can be summarized in the 114 chapters of the Quran. And the 114 chapters of the Quran can be summarized in Surah Al-Fatiha. And Surah Al-Fatiha can be summarized in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. What do I mean by that? What is the philosophy of the entire religion? What is the philosophy of the entire Quran? What is the maqsad, the mansha of it all? A simple statement: Hajatul insan ila rahman. The need and the necessity the creation has towards the creator. Our hajas, our needs. And those needs are fulfilled through the Quran. The things that we have to do and the things we should abstain from, the things we desire, it's embodied in the Quran. And all of that is found in Surah Al-Fatiha, and all of that is found in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Because before we do anything, what do? We say Bismillah. That is a dua to Allah, that Ya Allah, make this easy for me, and I put this into your control, and then you continue. Everything in essence is that relationship and that ta'alluq, and that ta'alluq is called, that communication is called dua. Salah, the prayer, the greatest manifestation of that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salah in its literal meaning means dua. It means to ask Allah, to seek, to pray for. The core of it all is dua. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ad-du'a mukhul ibadah. That dua is the nucleus of all worship. When we are in Ramadan, you see there are two types of things. There's something called Mubarak Zaman, and there's something called Mubarak Makan. Mubarak Makan means a blessed area, place. Mubarak Zaman means a blessed time. So for example, you have a Mubarak Zaman. Ramadan is an entire month of a Mubarak, a blessed Zaman, timing. The day of Friday is blessed, Mubarak Zaman. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that in this day there is a moment when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts any dua made, any dua a person makes, Allah will accept it. Mubarak Zaman. Some scholars say that this is in the early hours of Fajr on the day of Friday. Quran al-Fajr mashhuda. That the recitation and the prayer and the seeking at the time of Fajr is witnessed by the Malaika. Others say it's when the Salatul Jumu'ah finishes. That's the best time to do dua and dhikr, because that is a time of acceptance. That Allah accepts du'as at the end of every prayer. That is one thing. Dubrul Salah, some scholars interpret this to mean at the end of the At-Tahiyyat, whereas the Ahnaf and majority, they interpret it to mean after the salam. That is why we sit for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, because that is the most important time. The moment we have just finished doing dua and talking to Allah, now it's waqtul mustajab. Mustajab means time that Allah will accept the dua. Others say no. It's the time between Asr and Maghrib, because this was the time when Allah created Adam alayhi salam. This was the time when Allah expelled Adam alayhi salatu wassalam as well from Jannah. And this is a blessed moment. This is a moment that Allah does remarkable things between Asr and Maghrib. I remember when I used to be in Zakaria in South Africa, there on Fridays between Asr and Maghrib, everyone is doing their du'as and sitting in the corner and seeking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mubarak waqt. They start from Thursday, from the sunset of Thursday they start. People start getting ready for Jumu'ah. That this is a blessed time. Jumu'ah is Mubarak. That's why people say Jumu'ah Mubarak. Why? It's a blessed day. People say, no, it's bid'ah. No, everything is not bid'ah. Our car is not bid'ah. The mic is not bid'ah. Jumu'ah Mubarak just means a blessed Jumu'ah. Have a blessed Jumu'ah. No one is thinking you're going to get extra reward, or like it's, if you don't say Jumu'ah Mubarak this Friday, then you're not a good Muslim. No. This is something that just means a blessed Jumu'ah. So this is an example of Mubarak Zaman, Laylatul Qadr, the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, walayalin ashar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the nights of Dhul Hijjah and the days of Dhul Hijjah. Blessed time. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told Jabir radiallahu anhu that if you want anything and you desire anything, then go to Masjid al-Fath, and between the time of Dhuhr and Asr on a Wednesday, make dua and Allah will accept your dua. So the scholars write two things over here. They write, number one, that du'as made anywhere on Wednesdays between Dhuhr and Asr, Allah accepts them. This is a blessed time. Jabir radiallahu anhu says, whenever I wanted something, I made dua at that time and Allah granted it to me. Others say, no, this is exclusive to Masjid al-Fath. That this is only talking about Masjid al-Fath is a masjid where the Battle of the Trench took place. There are 7 masajid there now. There's one big one called Masjid al-Fath over there. And they say it's exclusive for that masjid. Nevertheless, these are moments in awqat, Mubarak Zaman, blessed times. And then you have Mubarak Makan, blessed places where Allah accepts dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts dua in Makkatul Mukarramah, in Arafat, in Madinatul Munawwara, in Masjidul Aqsa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts du'as in the masajid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts du'a of a person who is sick. When we go and visit the sick people, it's not that we are going to them to give du'a, but it's the philosophy of them giving du'a to us. A few days ago I was mentioning the story of a young man who I met in Blackburn, who told me that his father was suffering from terminal cancer. So I went to meet him, and while I'm sitting down there waiting for him, I see an old man in a crane, on a cane, come in, walking in. I could see that the little life that was left, I could see the weakness, and I could see the aching. I saw him walk in, and my heart went out. A few seconds later, I see a tall man, mashallah, well built, full of life and happiness, walk into the room. And then I realized the first was the grandfather, but the second was the actual father who was going through cancer. I went to the brother, I said, brother, my condolences to you, genuinely. But I have to say that I'm kind of floored, because seeing your sabr and just seeing how they're saying, what, 1 month, 2 months, and like, it's as if that you are the happiest man on the planet. He said, I am. I said, you have terminal cancer. He said, yes, but do you know, because of this, how many people from around the world have done dua for me? They have mentioned my name to their Allah. Had I not had this sickness, I would not have all of these du'as. He said, getting all of these du'as from all over the world, he said, it's worth it. And it just made me reflect. You see, Allah accepts every du'a that is made. Either He accepts it the way you asked it, and He grants it, or He removes another problem in your life, a problem you never knew or will never know, that was bound to happen in your life. But Allah said, I know you're asking for something. I'm not going to give this to you, but I'm going to use this to remove another problem in your life that you never knew that you were going to go through. And number 3 is, on the Day of Judgment, people will see mountains of reward. And they will ask, and they will turn, and they will say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, what is this? And Allah will say, this is yours. So, Ya Allah, I know me. I never did this much. I was the Qul Huwallahu Ahad Inna Atayna guy. Me? No, this wasn't me, Ya Allah. Allah said, this was every dua I didn't accept of yours. And the servant will say, Ya Allah, I wish you never accepted any dua. I wish I got nothing in this dunya. Because it becomes irrelative. You know, it's masa'ib. And difficulties are just like that as well. Masa'ib. Right? You think that musibah is difficult. And then a musibah comes, and it's all of these things are progression in life. You're facing, this is the finite life. And the infinite is the hereafter. As our friend says, aram haram hai. He says, over here, this isn't the place for comfort. There is the place for comfort. This is the place of struggle. This is the place of qurbani and sacrifice. Here, you're not going to get everything you want. And this is a place that's faniya. It's going to end. And all that matters is how much I spoke to Him. And if you want a sneak preview and a glance into your relationship with Allah, and you want to know how good it is and how strong the connection is, how long can we do dua for before we get tired? How long before my hands start feeling like, no, I can't? And that's an indication. I can't talk to Him. I can't keep the communication going. There is a hadith Qudsi. Hadith Qudsi is special. It's not Quran, but it's the words of Allah cloaked in the verbiage of the Prophet ﷺ. And this was one of the remarkable Hadith Qudsis, in the sense that Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayh, when he would say this, he'd fall to the floor and he'd say this hadith. Ala rukbatayh. He'd be on the floor on his knees because of the grandeur of how Allah addresses His servants in this hadith. Allah starts by saying, Ya ibadi, kullukum aarun illa man kasawtuhu fastaksuni aksukum. O my servants, O my slaves, O my worshippers, kullukum ja'i'un. Every one of you is starving. You cannot feed yourself. Illa man at'amtuhu. But the ones that I give the tawfiq and the ability to feed. Fastat'imuni ut'imkum. Seek from me and ask from me, and I will grant you to eat. How many people have the money to buy what they want to buy, but not the ability to eat what they want to eat? A simple allergy, simple peanut, traces of it can put a person at the door of death. Kullukum ja'ir, diabetes, cholesterol, all of these problems and sicknesses that develop, Allah takes blessings away. And that's His eternal plan and His eternal magnificence, where He grants blessings and then slowly takes one blessing away. As you start to age, then the faculties are slowly taken away. In your youth, the blessings are at their prime. And Allah wants to see how grateful you are. And few remain with those blessings till the end. But majority, Allah takes sometimes the eyesight, sometimes the health, sometimes the wealth, sometimes this, sometimes that. But Allah takes, and Allah also gives. But Allah gives some now and Allah gives some later. Continuing, Allah says, Ya ibadi, kullukum aarun illa man kasawtu. O my servants, all of y'all are exposed. Kullukum, everyone's exposed. Besides the one who I cloak and cover their faults. Allah says in another place in the Quran, if we wanted, we could have plastered their sins on their faces. وَلَعَرَفْنَا, and people would have known when they would have walked around that this is the sin that such and such has committed. You know, the Sahaba of the past and sages of the past, and I've seen some people of this caliber as well. But I'll just restrict the stories to those of the past. Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu is sitting down in the gathering. A person walks in and he says, what's wrong with the people? They walk into our gathering after committing zina of the eyes. Man gets up, goes, does wudu, prays, comes back. They could see the sin in the eyes. Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, it comes about, one of his opinions is that when it comes to the excess water of wudu, he has three opinions. One opinion is that it is najis, impure. One opinion it is makruh. And one opinion is that it is pure. Meaning that if the water, najis means that if it comes on you, you have to wash it. Makruh or doubtful is that, you know, it's not that good, but it's okay, your salah will happen. And pure means obviously there's no problem. We do wudu, we come back, we don't try to wash our clothes after. Why did he have three opinions? Allah had given him kashf, he had given him an ability. And Allah had given him a karama. Karamatul awliya'i haqqun. The supernatural actions that emanate from our sages is a reality. This is part of our faith. It's mentioned in Aqid al-Tahawi and Shalaqaid and Badul Amali and all the books you can think of. Maryam alayhi salam was not a prophet. She manifested a miracle. Anyhow, these karamat and these Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he had the ability that when someone was doing wudu, he could see the sins that are falling off. And when he saw some people who had major sins, he made a comment and said, this is impure, this is najis. And some people who it was middle, he said this is makruh. And some people who it was nothing, he said it was pure. Later on, it is written in his biography, that he did dua to Allah and he said, Ya Allah, remove this karama from me because I don't want to know the faults of others. I don't want to know their faults, Ya Allah. Remove this from me. كلكم عار إلا من كسوت فاستكسوني أكسكم يا عبادي كلكم ضال إلا من هديت فاستهدوني أهدكم. Oh my servants, all of you are lost. You don't know where you're going. You're misguided. Come to me and seek guidance from me and I shall guide you. يا عبادي كلكم مذنب. Oh my servants, every one of you are sinners. Every one of us are sinners. Ya ibadi, fastaghfiruni aghfir lakum. Come and seek forgiveness from me and I will forgive you. Then Allah says, let me set the record straight. Ya ibadi, law anna awwalakum wa akhirakum wa insakum wa jinnakum كانوا على أتقى قلب رجل واحد منكم ما زاد ذلك في ملك شيئا. O my servants, لو أن أولكم, if the first of you from Adam to the last son of Adam, and Eve to the last daughter of Eve, وآخركم وإنسكم, and all the humans, وجنكم, and all the jinns, كانوا على أتقى قلب رجل واحد منكم. If you had the purest of all hearts, the heart of Muhammadi, and you had the greatest heart and you never committed a sin ever, and every person ever created and every jinn ever created, the angels were already in observation. But if every creation of Allah was submitted and worshipped Allah and never transgressed even for a second, Allah says, مَا زَادَ ذَلِكَ فِي مُلْكِ شَيْئًا. I just want to let you know, nothing increased from my dominion. يَا عِبَادِي لَوْ أَنَّ أَوَّلَكُمْ وَآخِرَكُمْ وَإِنسَكُمْ وَجِنَّكُمْ كانوا على أفجر قلب رجل واحد منكم ما نقص ذلك من ملك شيئا. O my servants, لو أن أولكم, if the first of you, from Adam to the last son of Adam, from Eve to the last daughter of Eve, all the humans and all the jinns and everyone had the worst and most corrupt hearts, the hearts of shaitan. ما نقص من ملك شيئا. Nothing from my dominion decreases. I don't benefit from your worship. I don't lose from your disobedience. You're insignificant. The creation of Allah is vast. What does our salah matter to the one who has millions of malaika sitting in sujood for millions of years? What is our 2-minute prayer going to make a difference? To the one who what is our moments of remembrance and reflection going to make a difference to the one who has billions and billions of creations that have never forgotten him ever since the day he has created them? We think we're something, but we're really nothing. And we have to remind ourselves, or Allah reminds us. We have to humble ourselves, or Allah humbles us. We have to reflect, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deflects us. Ya ibadi. And here it gets powerful. Here it gets powerful. يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على صعيد واحد فسألوني فأعطيت كل إنسان مسألته ما نقص ذلك مما عندي إلا كما ينقص المخيط إذا أدخل البحر. He says, O my servants, Ya ibadi, oh mine, you're mine. You run away, but you're still mine. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ يَا أَيُّهَا الْإِنسَانِ مَا غَرَّكَ بِرَبِّكَ الْكَرِيمِ. O insan, what deceived you from your Kareem Allah, from your loving Allah, from your giving Allah, from your merciful Allah? مَا غَرَّكَ What deceived you? It was your karam, Ya Allah. It was your blessings that deceived us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَوْ أَنَّ أَوَّلَكُمْ, if the first of you, from Adam to the last son of Adam, وَآخِرَكُمْ, from Eve to the last daughter of Eve, every human on the planet ever created, and every jinn ever created, were brought together on one piece of land, and the entirety of Allah's creation stood before Him. فَسَأَلُونِي, and they asked me, فَأَعْطَيْتُ كُلَّ إِنسَانٍ مَسْأَلَتَهُ, and I granted every person's desire until they can no longer desire and aspire any longer. And Allah continues and continues and continues to grant them until they grow tired of seeking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He's done giving everyone everything they could ever imagine and hope. Allah says, you want to know how much would decrease from my treasures? Take the 7 seas, put them together, bring the 4 oceans, bring them together, take all of the water, and as its depth and as far as it is, grab a needle, dip it inside, pull it out. How much fell out? Nothing. And that is exactly how much from my treasures I have lost after granting the entirety of creation their heart's desire. Why aren't we asking? Allahu yaghdab in tarakta su'alahu wa hadha ibnu Adam yaghdab hina yus'al. The poet says, Allah gets angry when you don't ask. The son of Adam gets angry when you ask. Ask him once, okay, okay. Bruh. But Allah, you don't ask Him, no, He gets more angry. You know, dua, you can make anywhere, any place, any direction. You don't even need to move your mouth. Make dua here. Always do dua. Someone does good to you, do dua for them. Someone does bad to you, do dua for them too. You need something, do dua for it. Do dua for the dunya, but make more dua for the akhirah. Because every second spent for doing dua for things of the dunya, it's temporal. Those seconds will go and those things will go. But every second spent doing dua for the hereafter, it's immortal. It will remain forever, be infinite. Learn to ask the one. The Sahabas turned to Allah even when their shoelaces broke. But now we are so, Google is our khuda. First thing we do, everything we turn to Google. Google Maps, Google this, Google that. Redirect. Take a second. Get in your car. Make the dua first before putting your directions in the map. Eating your food. Make your dua first before taking the bite and taking the picture. Everything you do. Bring dua, normalize dua. Make dua for each other, for your friends. Jazakallahu khairan is a dua. But go beyond that. Learn to give du'as to one another. Because that's all that matters at the end. Who's going to do dua for you after you go down? And after your family, your friends, and those are the people that are your greatest assets. Normalize du'as in your life so you know for sure you'll get it after you pass away. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت ونستغفرك ونتوب اليك. اقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين جاء الواحد الفرد القديم الاول فانت مليك الناس ربا فاقبل ثم الصلاه على النبي الافضل فاني اولا ابدا بامر قد بدا الله تعالى بنفسه ثم ثنى ملائكته المقربين وثلثنا به. قال بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد بعدد من صلى وصام وصل على محمد بعدد من قعد وقام وصل على جميع الأصحاب رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين وعلينا معهم. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أصلح أحوال المسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم ارحم موتى المسلمين. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولأساتذتنا ولأولادنا ولأزواجنا ولمن له حق علينا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من النار. اللهم احفظ دماء المسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا استووا واعتدلوا فإن تسوية الصفوف من تمام الصلاة وسد الخلل فاتم الصف الأول فالأول. Before I begin, just a quick reminder. As you can see outside, they're running a drive for monthly donors. for the masjid. Just a 1-minute thing on this is that maybe this is a masjid you come and pray in all the time. Maybe this is a masjid you pray in once in a while. No doubt that this masjid has had an incredible impact on the community and our country at large. Many people at this masjid have grown closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the different services and the different activities that are being performed and have been performed over the decades. And this is possible through the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but He has His soldiers. So I request everyone today to be a soldier of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be part of the contribution, so that we don't know when will our last day be, but whenever our last day will be, at least your intention was that as long as time existed and money existed, you were in constant contribution. So even after passing away, this will be as if you are donating every day, though your bank account stops, and all of those things stop, your ajr will not stop, inshallah. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثة فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة والسابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إن شاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Inshallah, please remember Pakistan in your dua as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep the country safe, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant stability to the country, inshallah.
Bismillah. Just a few quick announcements. As the Imam reminded, do not leave here before becoming a soldier today in the cause of supporting a masjid. And if you're already a soldier, just increase that by $10, $20 a month or whatever your family can afford, and Allah will put barakah in your contributions, inshallah. Also, since this is the right time for du'as, there's a few du'a requests from our community members. Dua for Shifa for brother Abu Bakr Ibrahim from Richardson. He's a close family friend of one of our members at the community here. Sister Sarah Siddiqui, who was diagnosed with cancer in Bangladesh. And also Sister Aisha, who is the wife of Brother Saeed. She's undergoing treatment. May Allah give them all shifa and complete recovery, inshallah. And also dua for maghfirah for Brother Madar Sahib, who passed away in India. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah give him Jannatul Firdaus. And also few quick events. So ISCC will have the monthly family night tonight after Maghrib. It's a great event to bring your family. It's beautiful weather. So please do come enjoy. There'll be food available for purchase. It's a really nice gathering. The Shura elections are coming up, so the nominations are currently going on. So please pick up a nomination from the ISCC office. The deadline for nominations is October 27th. The third annual conference is happening in November for ISCC. The theme this time is In God We Trust, Shaping the American Muslim Identity. It's a really good gathering, so please plan on attending that in November. And finally, there'll be an IT seminar on information security next Saturday. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.